That's a really good question.
You asked, fantastic.
Yes, great question.
That's a great question, Ike.
Man, that's a good question, bro.
What's up, everybody? This is the Ikesinspirations podcast, and today I have a lovely guest. His name is Ausar, and Ausar is a very interesting individual. I consider him a hip-hop journalist. He's a YouTube content creator, and I'm a big fan of the content he creates. So I wanted to have him on, and I'm glad that we're able to connect. So, Ausar, can you do us the favor of introducing yourself to the audience and just give it a brief story of who you are?
Sure. I have a channel called Spacial, and basically I talk about just music, hip hop. But I started with hip hop, but I'm trying to get into just music in general, just as a whole. I'm just a fan. I love being a fan of things that I'm passionate about. I love nerding out about just shit that I like, and it just happens to be music. So I just share my fanness and like my perspective and like how music has affected me, how different artists have affected me, and how I feel like they affect the landscape of music that we're in.
Yeah. No, dude, I love that. And I love having people come on the podcast and just nerd about whatever people are passionate. It's actually why I love this podcast. I love talking to people and just hearing whatever like makes them tick. I don't know, it's just interesting to me, especially if what makes us tick is a similar interest in me. I have a similar interest as well. So, I want to kind of get into it and just dive deeper into you. Like, what do you find yourself doing outside of like YouTube? Like, how did you get to, just like, did you go to college? Do you work? Just kind of that type of background.
Sure. I'll say these days, my life has been very much consumed by YouTube as a whole.
Okay.
So I don't even know if I necessarily have a life outside of YouTube at this point.
Oh, okay.
But that's something like, that's not something that like to brag about. Like I very much want to be a multifaceted person in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but before YouTube, I went to college. Lincoln University is the first HBCU.
Cool.
And I studied visual arts, and
nice.
That's what gave me the I guess the analysis bug. I had this teacher specific. He just went by James, cool dude. And we studied European art history. I had him for 3 European art history classes and African art history class. And he would just like come up and like we would just talk. It wasn't like any other class I had. And he would just put up a painting, like a old Renaissance painting or an old like African mask that was made like hundreds of years ago, and he would be like, write 3 pages about this. He would just be like, we would talk about it, but like, I think this piece just represents like respect or something. He'd be like, why? Like, go deeper into it, go deeper. And like that really gave me like this like this eye for like analyzing art in general. Like, I really give him like really like all the credit for like me starting. Like I didn't realize it then, but like that will be what I would use to like do my YouTube stuff now. And I didn't realize that until like a couple months ago. Like it really started with him because like he would really challenge. Yeah, but just an appreciation for like analyzing art is like, it was like a great gift that I don't think I would have gotten if it wasn't for him. And honestly, I don't think Spacial would have existed if it wasn't for him. So like, I doubt he'll ever like see this, but like, shout out to him.
Yo, shout out to your professor, man. You never know. You never know what type of action inspires something else. It's very interesting, like what inspires one thing and another. But I don't think he was intending to have that effect on you, but it seems like he did it. Yeah, man. So, I'm curious to learn about, more about your YouTube journey and how you got into it, because one reason why I'm interested is I've never actually did this, but I do have other YouTube channels. One is this podcast, and then I have another thing where I create content on sickle cell. That's a whole nother thing. But I used to actually have a music blog called Music for Inspiration. I recently changed it to Ikesinspiration because I kind of got tired of the hip hop conversations and whatnot. But I was pretty much like, I was making a lot of like music, blogs. And there was even a point where I was thinking of creating a YouTube channel where I did something similar to you and I would create video essays. So I'm kind of curious, how did you get yourself into writing such incredible video essays and whatnot?
Oh man, it's a long story.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll try to keep it brief. But it started, I want to say, I've been doing YouTube since I was like 9, 10.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Cinnamon Challenge type of vibes, if you remember that era of YouTube. But I didn't really take like content serious. Like I remember just always being like, oh, I want to be a meme, like Snapchat, Vine. I would like just try to be a meme, and like that just kind of like got me creating and stuff. But I don't think I really took it like a real serious go at it per se until when I was in college. I had a podcast called the Misfits Table Podcast, and I had with two of my friends. And like we would just get on there and we would just like talk shit about whatever. And like if anybody ever finds that podcast for whatever reason, I wouldn't recommend listening to it. But like you can low key like see inklings of like Spacial in that.
Okay.
It was like we had like music choice in the week, and we would talk about music, and like a lot of the topics would be about music, but it wasn't like it wasn't like built out, but it was like music was like a very much a heavy thing. We like end out songs with or end out episodes with music, and we had like Family Feuds and all these type of like game shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where so I'm gonna just like very much like just give a summary. We can. I got kicked out of my parents' house when I was living in
Okay, no problem.
And I ended up moving to Atlanta, long story short.
Okay.
And I love my friends to death. We're still like, these are my fucking guys, like for life.
No.
It was like a thing of, I realized I was doing all of the work. Like it was like a class project where like one person does everything, and like
I hate this.
And I'm just like getting very frustrated with them. I'm just like, If I'm putting in this much work, imagine if all three of us put it, like we could be huge. And like I had to realize that it was very much a passion for me and like very much a hobby for them. So I had to, eventually the podcast kind of fizzled out, so to speak. I started this series on TikTok called Free Empathy, and the first thing I did was, it was like, as a whole, it's supposed to be like, I spoke to 100 people about this. And that was the concept. So the first concept was music. So I went to Piedmont Park, and I went all over Piedmont Park for about a week. And I saw 100 people with my little lanyard microphone and my fucking iPhone SE. And I just said, what does music mean to you? Gave them the lanyard, recorded them. And I spoke to 100 people at Piedmont Park, and I made my video. And I was like, this is great. Like I was getting a bit of traction. Like it was pretty cool. It wasn't like super big, but it was like, I spoke like every one of those. Most of the 100 people follow me. Some of their friends follow me. It did decent. And I was going to do my second one. My second one was, what does love mean to you in one word? And as I was driving to go to Piedmont Park, I remember I ended up getting arrested because I had a warrant out for a car accident I was in a while ago, and I didn't realize my license was suspended. And I've never dealt with the law. Dealt with the law. And I'm like, the guy's like, oh, you need to go to what's it called? Some county. I can't remember. It's somewhere in Mableton, something County.
What county? So
not Fulton. Thank God I wasn't in Fulton. Anyway, I ended up going to jail.
Yeah.
And like I was like devastated. Like I've never dealt with the law. I've never been in jail. Never dealt with like I was raised in like the suburbs of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't belong in the Atlanta jail, basically. I ended up getting transferred like 3 times in a paddy wagon. The cops were assholes. I really developed like a hatred for police there. Like I was like,
okay, well,
like I get what NWA was talking about.
Like you and I are not too different, my guy.
Yeah. Because they were treating me like a criminal. I'm like, this is a fucking traffic case. Like, why am I being treated like this? Anyway, a bunch of bullshit. I'm in there for a couple days. I get out. My parents are like pissed because they're like you leave for like a couple months. How do you end up in jail? We got to pay your bail for you, this, that, and the third, and going back home. And I'm just like, I'm like depressed, dude. I'm like, I'm a failure. I'm like, graduated college.
What the hell am I doing?
And I'm like the first cousin. Like I'm like the oldest of my generation. And I'm like, I just fucking like got kicked out. You know, I failed in Atlanta. Like I'm living in my mom's basement. I fucking failed TikTok. Like I'm like down bad. Like it's real bad. And like I'm just gonna give it one more shot. Like, and then that's it. Because I've been doing content in like YouTube my whole life. I'm just like, I'm gonna give it one more shot. And I just draw this planet in my notebook, and like it just kind of evolved into like, I'm like, you know, I didn't realize how much I love talking about music, even though I did it so much on the Misfits Table podcast. Like doing Free Empathy made me realize like, oh, I really like talking about music.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see what happens. Gonna talk about music. And like I'm in my mom's basement, and I got this fucking shitty green screen and this shitty light, and you can see it in my oldest like first videos on my YouTube channel. Like green screen is horrible, and I'm just like, I like Frank Ocean, I like Raven Renee. I'm just gonna fucking talk about it, you know. And like I just made it a goal to like make one thing 1% better, and I figured like 100 videos, if I just was 1% better, within 100 videos, within 2 years, I will be 100% better.
Yeah.
I underestimated, like some videos were 10. Some videos were even like, honestly, 70% better than the last one. And I just try to like pick out things from like, okay, I'm going to like shit on myself with whatever this video is in this way. Like maybe it's the audio, maybe it's like the graphics, maybe it's the way I even just write the story as a whole. I just wanted to shit on myself in one way for my last video. Now I'm here. Like I just, I mean, there's obviously more shit that went into it, but like, you know, cultivated and stuff like that. But
yeah, man. I mean, you said, by the way, thank you for being vulnerable and just sharing that. I wasn't expecting all of that, but you said a lot. Some of the stuff that just caught up to me is, you know, you talked about doing that project where I always hated school projects, bro, because I always felt like there was just one person doing all the work, and then the other person did it. And then, you know, it's kind of weird. Most people don't care, so then you got to do all the work. Or sometimes you're the person who doesn't care, and you're like, oh, why did you care so much? And it's just like, dude, I always hated that, bro. But I can relate to that. But it's interesting that's how that kind of started your passion for what you're doing now. And then you mentioned you went to jail, man. I'm just curious, how long were you in jail for, and what was that like? What was it like being in jail? Was it not? I mean, you know, what you did isn't that big of a deal. So I imagine it wasn't that severe of an experience, right? Or
it was definitely hell.
Really? How long were you in jail?
About 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about 3 days. And thank God I wasn't like in like. I was like in the holding. I was like in a like procedural holding. I got transferred a bunch, and there was this one. I wish I could remember the name of the county. I don't know where I can. Whatever county Young Thug and Gunna was in, I was at that same jail. I don't know why I can't remember it.
No, that's not Decatur. Yeah, man. I'm in Atlanta. I don't even know this stuff, man. But I know what you're talking.
It's like whatever Mableton is, like whatever county. Yeah. But yeah, it was bad, and like they put me. I remember. Dude, they didn't feed me for like 24 hours. Like they made me wait. I was in like a holding cell with like this one dude, like just one guy. And mind you, like every other cell is like, I'm talking like 50 to 60 different. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can curse on that, but 60 niggas like in one room. And like at one point I was like, I'm happy I'm not in here with them. but like at the same time, why am I in there with one guy? Like, why are we the oddballs? You know. But he ended up being cool, but he also like he just kind of pissed me off because I'm like,
I'm not supposed to be here.
Like my parents' age and like their mentality is like lower. Like my sister. Like I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah. It's funny. As you're speaking, man, the first thing that's coming up to my mind is Boondocks. I don't know if you ever watched Boondocks. I
love it.
But like the Boondocks and the image of when I think Tom was in jail. No,
thank God I don't have to do anything like that.
It's that's the first thing I was thinking about. But man, I'm glad you're in it. And then bro, you also opened up about depression, which is interesting to me. I'm gonna be honest, I'm fairly blessed. I'm a pretty happy individual. I've never really experienced depression. I've had my bouts of sadness, but I know depression is a common thing, bro. I'm just curious, what was that like for you and internally, and how did you overcome depression? Because I like to touch on that subject because I know there's a lot of people who go through depression, and some struggle to come out of it. So,
Yes, I don't know if I ever actually like came out of depression.
Okay.
I have seasonal depression.
Okay.
So like for me, it's like just every winter, it's just like, all right, here we go, let's go again. But I will say music definitely helped me. And it's all like very much a large reason of why music means so much to me, because like I don't know where I would be if I didn't hear like
Daniel Caesar, because
the internet, man. Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Lamar, like these are like big bros for me. You know, like they were like, for me at the time, like just being like a 13, 12-year-old, just like I don't understand what depression is, don't even know what the word is. Like these were people like telling me. It's it really meant a lot to me, like these people who are making like these works of art. And my channel, obviously did not start this way at all. Like I just started like just like whatever. But my channel kind of evolved into this thing of like, yo, I have an audience. I can speak to like other kids that are like, not necessarily knowing about depression, and like, and not doing it in like a corny way like Logic, even though I used to love Logic, but like the way Logic talks about depression is so bad. Sorry, but it just is like it's so and lame. I like to speak about it in a way of just like, I go through this, and if you go through it, it's okay. And also, this is a way that you can try to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like, I just want people to feel seen. I'm not trying to be the answer to people's, because I haven't even answered my own depression, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, you're being honest.
I would like to be like, yo, like, dude, I was fucking there, you know? Like, that sucks, but like, if perspective is a big thing. So like, a lot of artists, we look like they go through some type of downhill thing or whatever. We like, what we can learn from this artist journey is like, whenever you're feeling down, look at what they did, and this is how like they picked themselves up from a shitty situation or whatever. And like, there's just so many situations like that can be tied back in, like, depending on how your perspective is, it could be tied back to like depression, or it could be tied back to like you just having a shitty day, like you fucking stub your toe, your boss is a fucking bitch, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, it just,
no, man,
I think it's just relatability at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, there's music is a powerful source of therapy, man. Music is very healing. I have sickle cell disease, and even though I have sickle cell, essentially, for those who don't know, it's like a blood disorder where it can cause a lot of painful crises. It's music that kind of keeps me going when I'm going through those tough moments. Music has always kept me going with anything. You know what? I'm a pharmacist, and I went to school for 6 years to get my doctorate degree. When I'm studying, bro, I'm just listening to J. Cole, bro. I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar, bro. I'm just listening to they're just
Yeah.
Bro, anytime I'm working really hard, music just gets me zoned in. Like, and so music has been an incredible tool in my life that has blessed me, bro. It really has. And honestly, I created a blog, Music for Inspiration, to spread more light to artists who I felt like deserve attention, and also put hip hop in a positive message, you know. And then I ended up transforming it to Ike's Inspiration because I'm a very eclectic person. I have so much interest. Like, it's not just music. I'm interested in spirituality, business, real estate, ADHD, mental health. I just love like podcasting, like what makes you interested, African American history. So I kind of didn't want to just dive myself into music, even though it was going viral at the time. And now, we're here doing this podcast. And honestly, one of my goals is, honestly, I'll be the happiest man if I can get Kendrick one day. If I can get Kendrick on the map. That's honestly, I've had this goal even for years. That's like one of my personal goals, man.
Hell yeah.
Yo, me and Kendrick have the same birthday, bro. Like we have the same birthday. I don't want to start geeking out on him before we go. But you don't understand. I love Kendrick. I like we'll talk deeper about that. But I want to focus more on you and your story, and just you overcame I'm sorry, you're still battling with depression, and you talk about how music has been like a huge saving grace for you, man. Just curious, like, what about music is so healing for you?
My instincts, even though it sounds like bullshit, like I like some Rick Rubin shit, like I genuinely think that music has it's like there's a frequency that just like touches you in a way that we necessarily can't even perceive or understand. And I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm not even gonna pretend to understand what that means, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
But on, I guess, like a more like
practical level,
it's like relatability. Like when somebody says something and we're all going through it, and when we're like, I guess we can say New Caesar is so vulnerable in his music, and he speaks about things like going through about like really being in love and like losing yourself in love. Like who would have thought I would get you is like such a crazy insane line. Like, people feel that, you know, and bro, it just speaks to you on a different level.
Bro, Never Enough is one of my favorite R&B albums. That album was so beautiful, so introspective. There was tracks like Pain is Inevitable, Toronto, Vincent Van Gogh. Beautiful tracks, man. Beautiful tracks. And just I know what you mean, bro. There's something about music, the way they express themselves. You can feel like their soul. I know what you mean, bro. And I feel like if you're really tapped in and present with whatever music you're listening to, it's a great feeling, bro. I know it's a great, and that's why I'm glad to have you on this podcast, because I'm just very excited to have different conversations. Because one thing I've noticed about you is you're very multiverse in your music knowledge, and you've done content on Cole, Kendrick, Sampha, Janae, and you don't just do like the typical, like, I mean, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole are cool, but I feel like you're able to have just more original conversations outside of the big three, which I also really like and admire, honestly. Because sometimes just talking about Drake always gets boring, or at least for me, But I like that you could talk about Tyler the Creator, like, I think it's cool, man. I really do think that's cool, man. Because I'm
big three. Tyler the Creator should be in the big three.
You think so, man? Why do you think Tyler should be in the big three?
Tyler the Creator has been fucking grinded. Tyler the Creator has only grown every single. I feel like he just got this like label as the weird nigga for so long, but like his music it holds up. Like every single album just gets better and better. Like, and also like Tyler doesn't give a fuck about a big three.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't care. For sure. But I feel like just for me personally, I feel like Tyler, if there's like a revamp of the big three, I think Tyler's in it for sure.
Interest. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I love Tyler. We're both Nigerian, bro. I think we got a lot of common. I see myself in him. I don't know if he should be in the big three, but I think his discography is very underrated. Call Me If You Get Lost is a banger. I think even his the part 2 to that was pretty banger. Ego was hard. I'm not gonna lie, when Cherry Bomb came out, I wasn't really a fan of it, but but to each his own. But like, I think his discography is underrated for sure, and I think his ability to rap is underrated, and I think it gets deflated by how goofy his character came up when he was young. Niggas remember him for eating a cockroach now, so they don't associate him with lyricism. But honestly, I mean, and you know this better than me. You have by the way, if y'all are watching this, go watch his YouTube channel. Is called Spacial. Incredible content. Has a whole, he created a whole YouTube video on it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people's. I think he outgrew that, in my opinion. That image, that young dude image. Yeah, and he's much more wiser now.
He's definitely like an ever evolving type. He's very fun. He's like a fun and rewarding artist to watch grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of feel like a lot. I can't speak for everybody, I guess, but like a lot of up with Tyler the Creator. Like as he grew, we grew.
Yeah.
And like it's just like the maturity in his music is always like shown in one way or another. Which I just appreciate.
No, for sure, man. And that's one of my favorite things about hip hop and just artists in general. As we grew with them, if you're a really good artist, you grew as well. Like for example, like J. Cole. Like I feel like one of the reasons why J. Cole is so popular is like what you said about relatability. He's incredibly relatable. A black man who goes and plays basketball, is saying went to college. You know what I'm saying? Like that's usually not really like the typical artist, going to college and all that. But he did that, and a lot of dudes see yourself in it. You know what I'm saying? And so that relatability factor is important.
Yeah, especially like the fact that he rapped about it. Like a lot of upcoming rappers are working minimum wage jobs, but not rapping about it.
Yeah,
like there's something else, and like they're missing like your truth as an artist is your greatest power.
Yeah,
like rap about your truth, because if that's your reality, 9 times out of 10 it's 100,000 other people's reality.
And I agree. And sorry, I did not to cut. I'm just getting excited too, bro. But like, I feel like the problem is, and this is kind of what my grip with hip hop is, I feel like it lacks a lot of originality. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I personally stopped blogging for a while, because I felt like the conversations were the same and I was getting bored of it. But I feel like in order for artists to develop and make themselves unique, they have to have the ability to just write about anything. Like for example, like right now we see Kendrick just going crazy about Drake, but that's just a popular example. But a really good example is when Tyler the Creator simply wrote a song about how he felt today with the song Boredom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody feels bored. Like everybody feels bored. You could write, but I don't know why no one wants to like creatively talk about different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, talk about this book, The Artist's Way. I just finished reading the book. Rap about it and how it made you. I would be so tuned in if people it had different original, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I love water bottle. Drinking water, it saved my life. I do every day. Rap about, I don't know, like, but be creative with it. But, but it's always bitches, hoes, violence. You know what I'm saying? And it's such a lower consciousness of music that I'm kind of like, bro, I'm kind of over it. I don't get into it if you want,
but I genuinely feel like the hardest pill for me to swallow, and it might not be like much of a realization about people, but for me, the hardest pill to swallow was like the biggest consumer of hip hop is like a white boy in high school. I didn't necessarily realize that until I started checking the analytics of my own YouTube videos. I was like, these are like white boys in high school, and like that's fine. But I had to like come to like, this is like, so when I realized that, I'm like, the industry is making a movie in a sense of like how the Black experience is supposed to be for a white boy in high school. So we and like capitalize off of that, because they're the ones with the parents who's buying the concert tickets, how they eat, you know? So once I realized that, I was like, okay, of course, if like hip hop is supposed to be a thing where like in like a Black male or just a Black person, I guess, like feed their family and feed their community, you know, I'm not going to fault them for, you know, supplying that type of demand, you know. But the thing that happens is like you get Drake, you know. That's what happens. Eventually, you get your Drakes, and like J. Cole said it on his track about like Lil Peep and like 6ix9ine, like the whole mumble rap era and everything like that. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got yourself out your mama crib. I hope you make enough money to get out your mama crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It becomes this thing of like, where's the line between like hip hop for the culture and hip hop for the industry?
Yeah.
And it's very much stepped over. Like it's just straight industry.
Yeah.
The straight industry.
And I mean, and honestly, I think a lot of that has to do with just money. Honestly, I think to go on a cultural aspect and try to make money through higher consciousness music and just appealing to the culture, it just makes you less money. And appealing to the culture typically means appealing to, you know, African Americans, and that's not the market where the money lies, like you mentioned with the whole white boys, you know. So it's unfortunate, bro. But the good news is that, at least for me, like since this Kendrick Drake beef, I feel like this has been the most engaged I've personally been in hip hop. I am talking to so many different friends about hip hop like I've never had before in like years, bro. And we're arguing, we're having conversations, and we're like, yo, did you see that? And like it's almost like a movie, bro. Like it's a movie, and I'm seeing like a resurgence of hip hop that I haven't felt in a while, and I hope it continues. I don't want to be pessimistic. I kind of feel like it's gonna die off. I hope I'm wrong. But I think the resurgence of this energy is a beautiful thing, because aside from the Kendrick and the Drake beef, like, I mean, you know, whoever side you're on, I just like the communal aspect of hip hop, like the cultural aspect of it. I really like that. You know, I miss that.
Yeah, it's definitely been missing. Like I can only speak for myself, but like I was like you for sure. Like, bro, a couple weeks ago, I was like, I don't even want to make hip hop videos anymore. Like for me, it was like J. Cole is dropping the fall off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a Denzel Curry video, and that's it. Like, I'm just R&B. Like, I got a SZA video on Daniel Caesar. Hella R&B artists that are making great music. You know, I was like, I don't really want to talk about it, but like this. I hope this like gives like some type of
yes
for hip hop. You know, I can only hope. I can only hope, but you know, we'll tell. You know, we're in the middle of it. Like, we're in the free. I'm just trying to enjoy it.
The only time will tell, bro. And exactly. All we can do is just be present and enjoy it, man. I think it's great, man. So I want to dive a little bit more into you and your video creation process, because I think the type of videos that you create, I'm not gonna, bro. I'm you don't understand, bro. I'm a huge fan, bro. I'm not. I just figured out about this. I'm not gonna act like I've been watching your videos. I figured out about it like 2-3 weeks. And I just been watching a lot of your videos, and I like how introspective you are, how creative you are, and I'm also I'm really big into music. And your choice selection and like the background music, I know it's so simple, dude, but for me, like it makes for me, bro, I can listen to like a YouTube video. The guy can be like freaking farting. If the music sounds really smooth, I'm like engaged with it. I don't, that's just kind of me. I know most people aren't like that, but I'm really engaged with like the background music of like stuff.
Much.
Yeah,
you don't know how I actually think very hard about that.
Oh, I know you do. That's why I like love your content, because I know exactly how it feels like, bro. I know it's like
I was reading the questions you were asking. I was like, oh, this guy, like, he gets it. I was like, he gets it. Yeah. So thank you. And like the Black woman question too, I'm so happy you picked that up.
Yeah, bro. I mean, yeah, bro. I think I have a unique ability to ask questions and understand people's perspectives. Because I feel like me being so multifaceted and interested in different things, I can put myself in their shoes and see what interests them, you know? So yeah, we can talk. That's another thing I love about your videos that you do. I think you incorporate like the perspective of Black women like so beautifully, and just in a way that I feel like isn't really done often. Like I like how like in your videos you have like you do this thing where you kind of get the perspective of a fan, and I notice you usually get women too, and it's very interesting to me because I don't know, it just feels like you're getting different perspectives, and it kind of gives more credence to the videos you create.
Yeah. So I'll answer the one about like the background music first, and then I'll go to the into like why, you know, I ask the questions I do, to like who I ask them to and things like that. But like the music, when I say it's like 30, like a good like 30% of like the time that I spend, like I want it to feel like I want the music to be symbolic of what's going on in the artist's life.
Yeah,
you know, I wish I had like an example offhand or something. But like if you look at any song, like it's there for a reason, and like the specific part in the song is there for a reason. Like I love Kendrick Lamar, not necessarily because I relate to him. I relate to like J. Cole. Like J. Cole is
that's what everyone says. But yeah, I actually relate to Kendrick, but no one says that. But yeah, but sorry, go on.
I do not relate to Kendrick at all. But like I love Kendrick because of his ability to tell a story and like the way he tells stories. Like I learned so much from him, and like learning about like how Kendrick would specifically like have, you know, he would like you know, practice like double, triple, quadruple entendres or like people that he knew in jail, like his family, his uncles in jail, you know, just to give him something to do while they're in jail. Like, hey, here's a rap, decipher this while you're in jail, keep yourself out of trouble, you know. Like and obviously I'm not doing that. I don't like have, you know, but like I just appreciate like the Easter egg. I love a good Easter egg. I love a good like hidden gem that only 1, 2, 3 people are going to see throughout a video, and it's like we get it. Like I like when you asked me these questions, and like when I read the questions, I was like, you get it. Like,
yeah, bro, you know, trust me, you don't understand, bro. Like I know it's so little, but I like freaking love it, bro. I was watching like your Tyler the Creator video, and you were like the way you implement like the "See You Again" background. By the way, I have a piano and I practice the piano. I know how to like play that in that melody. It's such a beautiful melody, and bro, trust me. I used to like create when I was blogging about music. I used to create YouTube videos too. There weren't video essays. There were more talking head points. But while I was making the talking head points, I'll be very intentional about the type of music I'm playing. If I'm talking about J. Cole, you know, I might play like a Friday night. Like, I don't depend on the mood, but you know, but like, and so to see you doing it and like you do it much better and you do it masterfully is really awesome, bro. You know? Okay. Yeah. So so I'm just we were gonna touch on it, but we never actually answered the question. Why is it so important for you to get like the perspective of a Black woman on like your shows? I've noticed you do that often.
Yes, and that's very much on purpose. I feel like Black women have given the most to the society of America.
Okay.
They've actually received the least. And they're also like very much at the bottom of the totem pole in the fact that like first they're Black and then also they're women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you look at a lot of, at least the musicians and artists and like songs that I speak about, a lot of them are literally seeds or stemming from Black women in one way or another. And, I just feel like their voices, and not like I'm like some, I don't want to, and that's the thing, I'm just you know, I'm not trying to sound like some type of
Hotep
activist,
yeah,
but I just think that's a perspective that it should be heard more and it's heard the least. So like, even as far as like things like stock footage, I don't use white people. I'm not trying to. I promise I'm not like some type. I promise, but I just
bro. So you're not racist or anything, bro. I don't want you to come.
I'm not. But I just love black people. I think like black perspective is not seen enough. So like I make very much a point to not use that. I make a very much a point to like push these perspectives because like they matter, and also these are the perspectives that shape art, and art shapes the world that we live in. You know.
Quick question: do you believe art imitates life, or life imitates art?
I think that art imitates life.
Okay.
The life that we live in. But I also do think that art has the potential, because like things like sci-fi, like when you look at that kind of stuff, like anything that's made in the sci-fi movie, like in the 70s and 80s, is like what we have today. And the things that we're making in sci-fi today is probably what we'll see, I guarantee, within 20, 30 years. You know? So like it definitely is like a chicken or egg type of thing. But I think that like, especially like it's very prominent with like R&B, like the way that people are in love and they have like relationships. That's the music that they're going to make, you know. That's the perspective they're going to give, which it is very much a chicken and egg, but they know like it just kind of has like a back and forth type of thing to it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. And so dude, yeah, I'm glad you guys did that. Oh yeah, by the way, hats off to you, man. I think you're over 40K subscribers on your YouTube channel. Seems like your channel is finally blowing up. Which is an aspiration of a lot of YouTubers. I'm sure you know most YouTubers don't succeed. I mean, you've been doing this for years, so it's not really common for YouTubers to start blowing up. But you're blowing up, and first of all, I just want to congratulate you on it. I hope you get to 100K subscribers, and to be honest, I know it's important. The subscriber count is important, but I really like your perspective on music, bro. I think that's even more important. I think it's more important to put attention on artists, their growth, and have a better understanding of them, and show people why you feel so connected to them, so people can understand them on a more sincere, level, not just like. I guess I just feel like what you're doing is very personal. I'm a huge fan, So yeah, congrats on getting almost to 100K and being halfway there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, do you have an ultimate goal with your channel? I didn't even ask you, like, what's your goal with the channel?
I have like a vision board that I've had for like a long time. And like I have like things like I want a Jeep like so bad. But like YouTube has always been like on my vision board, and it's just been like the logo, and like just like it's so stereotypical for like my generation, but like I always wanted to be a YouTuber, bro.
Yeah, that's cool.
Dream job to just like yap about whatever you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So get paid for it, So like I would love to reach 100,000 subscribers. After that, I don't think I would necessarily care about subscriber count. Because like through growing, I realized how much of a vanity metric it is.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't really mean much. All like a subscriber count shows is like how long you've been on YouTube for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, all right. But I still want my plaque though. Like, talk your shit, bro. Yeah. But I mean, besides that, I would love to just be able to do that full time, and I guess like aspirationally, I would love to like be a person that like an artist seeks out to like my Sam. I don't know if you watched, but like I did a video on Sanfa, like about his album that he released. His last album he just released, his sophomore album. And I was thinking, I was like, I would love to like contact record labels and create documentaries around their albums. Like as
Yeah.
like a big inspiration of mine that you can probably really see, like if you watch the documentary, is Cootie's documentary on Kanye on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a great.
Like I take huge inspiration. I love that documentary so much.
Same. I loved it too.
And yeah, it's really inspired a lot of it. So I would love to do something like that. But
That's awesome.
Who's gonna drop an album or an artist who wants to get some type of publicity? Like I would like to be the guy.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, to do that kind of stuff.
Bro, I'm sorry. That's such a cool goal, bro. That's such a unique perspective. I never even. I mean, I love your goal. Usually I hit goals are like, yo, I want to get to 1 million subscribers. I mean, I'm sure you do want to get to 100K subscribers, but the goal to create documentaries for other artists, especially when they're rolling out their albums, that's such a unique goal. That's cool, man. I hope you can achieve that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Too, you know?
Yeah. All right, man. So I guess what else I got on the thing is, we talked about your personal story and kind of how you came up. Then we also talked about your YouTube journey, and then I guess now we can get into the hip hop aspect, and I guess we can talk about what's trending, which is the Kendrick versus Drake beef, man. I know you and I have been waiting to talk about this, and you can start it off. What are your thoughts on the beef? Who do you feel is winning? Whose side are you on? Whose side are you not? And what are your thoughts?
I will start with this. So everything I'm going to say, keep this in mind. Yeah. I don't necessarily have a Kendrick bias, but I have a hate for Drake bias, because I've been like arguing with Drake fans since 2013. Like I've never really necessarily been a fan or even like laughed. So like this is the time for me to be like, oh yeah, we can hate for real. Like we can hate. And I'll also say Kendrick Lamar made me realize I'm not as much of a hater as I thought I was. Kendrick actually hates this dude. Like I don't hate him. Like I just dislike him apparently. Like Kendrick. Dude. But yeah, anyway, jokes aside, I think this is great for hip hop.
Yes.
I think both of them have made some amazing tracks. Like amazing, like they haven't skipped a beat. It hasn't been like a track that I've been like, this is not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you.
One way or another. Like even Drake with like the flashiness of like dropping a video, and like as much as I like hated like watching a Drake video of like him crushing a Good Kid, Mad City, man, like I like respected. I was like, that's kind of fire, like for a Drake fan.
Yeah.
Like, I respected it. The thing that I'm most concerned about, I would say, is if this stuff is true. We haven't seen like receipts about like Drake potentially hitting Whitney, his wife, like, which is like concerning. And like the internet has like kind of bypassed it, but that's something that me personally, I haven't like looked past, I'm like, okay, if receipts come out, that very much changes the story. As much as I love
for sure,
as much as I love his stuff for culture,
for sure,
that's something we got to get into.
For sure.
Obviously for Drake, if those things are true, that's insane. Sex trafficking is kind of crazy, pedophilia is like very much a serious thing. So it's not like topics to really play with.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I would hope they're true, but I would hope they're not true. But like also I would hope that they're saying, the like factual things. So it's very much like a tricky place, because like
I know what you mean, because you want the entertainment, but you don't want the like the truth to actually be true. We all just want the good story. We don't want it to actually be, And bro, you mentioned that, and that's a valid point, man. I've been in a lot of hip hop conversations with some of my friends, and another one of my friends actually, he brings that up, and I don't want to say I'm dismissing it, but to be honest, that's one of the things about belief. Like the nature of hip hop disses is that you're creating a narrative for you to pretty much attack the person, and you're planning on you're creating a narrative and whether it's true or false, for the sake of the culture, like you want to not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not justifying you saying that like lies or not, but I guess pretty much my take is that I personally think he's just trying to create a narrative and attack on it. I think the narrative is very weak, and as you see the result of what he's losing this battle, but I just think he's trying to create a false narrative. I personally don't think it's true. I hope it's not true, but at the end of the day, like none of us know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
None of us know.
And a lot of people have said this before. Like it just at this point, it might just come down to the receipts. Like who is going to drop of like even with like Drake saying like, "Oh, I planted these things," doesn't add up to me, because when you look at his story, I think Charlamagne even said this. Like this would have been the first thing you would have said. Like the first thing you would have said was like, "I planted these are lies for you to fall into."
Yeah.
Like
that was cap.
I would have like documented like how I'm playing
it's
you.
cap.
You know what I'm saying? So like that is worrisome. I don't know. Man.
No, it's cap, bro.
It's trying to enjoy the moment of hip hop.
No. I think it's cap, bro. Because if that was true, bro, he would have come off a lot more calculated, and if anything, it just ended up backfiring on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to like start accusing, because I'm not one to talk about people, but this hip hop, this Kendrick and Drake, we've got me so like engaged. It's hard for me personally not to keep talking about it. But I personally feel like Drake, bro, everything you're saying, by the way. So you're talking about how much you hate Drake, right?
I don't like
Lamar. I mean, dislike, or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can use hate.
Yeah, okay, but I'm the same way, bro. Kendrick Lamar is my favorite artist, and I love Drake's music. I never liked him as a person, bro. I never liked him as a person because I felt like he lacks a lot of integrity. And this before P. Diddy was a whole thing, he always gave me like a P. Diddy like vibe. Not in a way, I don't know if he's actually raped. I don't know if he's doing all this sexual stuff.
Yeah.
That my when I say I feel like he gives me P. Diddy vibes, I feel like he's masking something about himself. Yeah. Like that you don't know, like his rapping doesn't make sense. Like okay, his reality is that he's one of the biggest artists in the world. He's almost a multi-billionaire. He's 37 years old, but what he raps about like doesn't seem to reflect like his reality. Like he doesn't talk about like it. Like I don't know. I feel like he doesn't talk about anything he's actually living, and so it always kind of like made me have this weird distrust for him. And even to this day, when he clicks, even before all these disses and stuff, I never took much of what he said his credibility. I always kind of questioned it. And so with that whole attack with the Dave Free thing, to me, I just think he's not even a credible source, in my opinion. I always felt that about Drake. I feel like he has a history of lying, being a master manipulator. And I agree, bro. I agree with Kendrick. I'm genuinely not just, I know I have a huge Kendrick bias because he's my favorite, but I always felt like that before Kendrick said that. So when Kendrick dropped Euphoria, I banged that track 15 times, 20 times in a row, because not only is, first of all, we don't hear Kendrick make a lot of music, by the way, so that's just a comment, I'm saying. And I'm a huge fan of Teddy Pendergrass. I don't know. Sorry.
Come on now. Come on.
I'm a huge fan of Teddy Pendergrass, and you're my latest inspiration. Yeah. I listen to that song all the time. So when he sampled that song, I got super excited, and also I got super excited, and he also just validated, I don't want to say hatred, but dislike for Drake, man, because I internally always felt like that, but it's just not the cool thing to say because everyone's on Drake's, oh man, it's Drake, yo, he just, I internally, like, he undeniably makes good music, but there was just always something about him that turned me off,
I completely get, bro, I became like a closeted Drake hater, like after a while. Like from like college until now, like I was a closet, like through all high school, I would be at the lunch table like debating Drake, but like at a certain point I was like, everyone wants to talk about Drake at this point.
Yeah.
But I'll also say another thing I didn't like about Drake before, and like this is just a thing that I have in general about artists who have record labels, Kanye included. He's a big like point to this, is like when artists become these record labels or become the owners of these record labels, it really becomes a factory. Like it becomes like a ego thing of like, well, you're making music for me. Like I don't think Kanye West has ever paid Big Sean still. Kanye West, I think, I think he owes Big Sean about $2 million.
Man. Yeah.
Ask Kid Cudi what he thinks about Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? So you can say the same thing with Drake about The Weeknd.
Yeah.
About Division.
Or Metro Boomin.
Yeah. Like how many artists have Drake taken albums from and then created hits from? These aren't even hits necessarily. These are great artists who could have their own hits if they were necessarily, you know? Yeah. I mean, that's just one aspect of it. And like, I don't know. I just think Drake is a lame.
Bro. I'm not even. I'm not even disagreeing. I personally agree. But I guess one thing is that Kendrick gave people like me and you the courage to say it. I probably should have kept the same energy. I kept the same energy, but I'm gonna I got a lot of tracks like not like us. It's just cool, man. Yeah, man. So I love what Kendrick is doing, and honestly, like. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm so engaged with this because for me, again, I keep saying Kendrick's my favorite artist, but not only that, I feel like, let's think about this. Like, we haven't heard Kendrick drop music this consistently. Yeah. And we know Kendrick is intentional with everything he's doing. So why is he so intentional about taking Drake down? And I think it's an intentional effort to really expose, because it's not, I think for him, it's not just Drake. It's what Drake represents, in my opinion. And I don't think he likes that. And I agree too. I'm with Kendrick. That's why I love that he's like banging on him, because I think he personally isn't just doing this about Drake. I think he feels like it's needed for the culture. I think that's what he truly believes. And I agree with him.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree that it's very much a conversation of the culture versus the industry, and Kendrick is drawing a lot of the sand. And then the culture, this is what we've been with. You're the industry, this is what y'all been with. I 100% agree. And I also think I was watching an Anthony Fantano video, and he had some. I don't really know who the guy is. But like somebody, he's Drake's biggest stan or something.
Sure.
Apparently. And he said that he had a great point. And he said that Kendrick is jealous. Because Kendrick is like hip hop. Like when I think hip hop.
You mean Drake is jealous or Kendrick is jealous?
Kendrick.
Sorry. Okay,
gotcha.
Like,
when I think hip hop, I think Kendrick, Cole, Denzel, JID. There's like not a lot of names, but I think a couple names. And I think Kendrick was like the biggest of like hip hop.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think Drake, I think pop. But for some reason, it's gotten to this point where Drake is hip hop for people who don't even necessarily know what hip hop is and see Drake and think, oh, that's what hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? And he was making a point of like Kendrick is jealous. And I don't necessarily think he was wrong. I think Kendrick is actually like, I think he's jealous. Like,
interesting.
He's saying like, you're a Canadian. Lil Wayne told Drake not to come around rapping like me. Don't rap like me. Don't like start talking about things like I talk about things. Like, you can't talk about Lil Wayne's pen. You can't talk about his gangster. Drake somehow he like merged himself into this lane and like blew it up to people who don't understand it. So I think Kendrick is like, how the fuck are you taking what I was raised by? I was raised by, this man is from Compton, LA. Do I have to say more? I mean, his favorite rappers are Nas and Tupac, you know? So he's like taking what Kendrick was raised and like forged by and like in a way making a mockery of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick was jealous and angry about it. You know, I think that's definitely a perspective to take in mind. because like we can't just act like Kendrick isn't human.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's like this guy that like I do it for the art, I do it for the people. I meet all right, you know, and then Drake comes out Tootsie Slide and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like I would be jealous too. How the fuck are you the most popular rapper? It should be your place, you know?
I know, I understand your point. I think it's a very interesting take. I haven't heard it, but I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree.
Okay.
Because I feel like I don't think Kendrick cares for the commercialization of himself, or for that pop nature of it. In my opinion, I mean, hence the whole Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper. I would be very shocked if he came in and and if you ask Kendrick, hey, do you think this is gonna go pop, or like if he said, yeah, this is about to be I don't think I think he dropped the album knowing like this isn't gonna hit, bro. Like I mean, obviously it's Kendrick, so people, but I think he knew like, oh, yo, like this is more for myself. This is more for me to be vulnerable and to just express myself. I personally don't think he's interested in like the commercial thing. I do understand your point though, because it seems like Drake has the magic touch. He can just do anything, say anything. And why does someone who, because I think Kendrick is a Christian and he feels like he does everything the right way, you know what I'm saying? And despite his hard efforts, he probably doesn't feel validated as much as Drake does. I can understand your perspective, but I think Kendrick values morality, Mr. Morale, more than that. I personally think so. I don't think he's just. I'm gonna be honest. To be honest, bro, I don't think Drake is extremely jealous of Kendrick, but I think he's jealous of what Kendrick represents. Like and when people like Kendrick and Pusha T make fun of Drake's blackness, I think that's a very legit insecurity he has. I think it's a very legit insecurity. I personally do.
Hold on.
I do.
I have I'm in the middle of a writing essay. I'm about 30 pages in.
Okay, cool.
Whatever. Hold on. Let me find the word insecurity.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a bar when Kendrick says, because I'm only on Euphoria. I'm 30 pages in. I'm gonna have to like. This man Kendrick dropped. I'm so behind. Everybody's getting millions of views.
I know, yeah. That's one of the things about YouTube. You gotta be on it, but your art takes such a long time to make.
Yeah, I will say too. This whole
it's also constantly updating, so then you probably have to keep changing your thing. But yeah,
but okay. So he has a line where he says, "How many more black features do you feel like you're black enough?" Mm-hmm. And what I wrote was, while on the surface this can be perceived as a dig at Drake being biracial, I personally feel like it's more of an insecurity of his reputation of being the soft, light-skinned Canadian guy early in his career, which over time evolved into this overcompensation surrounding himself with artists that fits the persona that he wants to be perceived as, like the 21 Savage, the Lil Yachty, which is, I wrote this before he even did the Colonizer bar about him like being in Atlanta with Young Thug and Future and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sorry, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, an excellent clip, because I know how you like to use clips to like prove your point, which I love. I think that's great. Drake did an interview with Elliott Wilson. I don't know if you ever watched that. Go on it, and he literally starts like it was like 8-9 years ago, and he's talking to Elliott Wilson. And he's like, man, like, I just don't get it, bro. Like, I don't know why the culture doesn't look at me like a black person. Like, he literally says this. He's like, I don't get it. What, like, whenever Kendrick drops, like, everyone looks at him like the cool person, like, you know, but whenever I drop, they don't associate me with the culture. I'm not kidding you. He literally says this in like you can go on the Drake Elliott interview.
There's an interview of Kendrick saying, "I'm not speaking of the culture. I am the culture."
Yeah,
like that's why. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent clip, and like, and so like I personally think that's probably why I think Kendrick Lamar is winning, because I personally think he's speaking in truth, and I feel like Drake. It's hard to talk about Kendrick because his life is so private. So I think he has to depend on creating a false narrative because there's a lack of evidence to actually attack him directly. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Drake, his life is so public because, you know, he does all these parties, he does all this music, he likes putting stuff out there, so it kind of makes him easier to attack. Nigga, we don't hear Kendrick drop music every 4 years and then he goes to Africa. We don't know. So like, it's hard to attack him. Like, which kind of helped him. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, yeah, but you should put that clip in there, bro. I'm telling.
Yeah, please. If
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. Yeah,
I will definitely send it to you. I'm gonna make a note. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it.
It's like I always have like this joke about like Frank Ocean. Like, if we knew more about Frank Ocean, like if he was more private, there's like a 50% chance he would be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he's such a private person, but we don't know shit about him. Like, he could be. He could hate black people. I don't know. But you don't know. You just doing whatever he does.
And honestly, some of that plays to their advantage. Like the greatest person who plays that to advantage is Beyonce. Doesn't do an interview. No one talked about you, but her mystique and the way she carries herself and her lack of seeing her, it kind of just adds value whenever she drops, you know, or whenever she does create something. It makes her presence so beautiful and magnificent.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Like, like there's something to be said about like in this age of social media, like there's like an artist that can preserve their anonymity and like just be mysterious a little bit. I feel like there's always like that special spark to them because everybody else is like, you get to see everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It makes it that much more special.
Yeah, dude, I completely agree with you, man. And so, you know, so, you know, I guess we gave our thoughts on the Kendrick versus the Drake beef. Do you have a favorite track from that?
Still Euphoria.
Okay, yeah.
I love Euphoria. And maybe because like I've just been like really like deep diving for the past, I guess, week now.
Sure.
But like I just love Euphoria and I love hearing the new tracks and like he said this in Euphoria, you know, like I love like hearing that kind of stuff. You're like it's just like such a good like entry diss track because it's like it's very much a basis. Like it very much holds so much. It holds like a lot of weight.
You know. Yeah. I make music that electrifies. You make music that pacifies. Bro, that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing. One of my favorite verses on that, bro. And then another bar that I really love on that, because I'm a Christian and I've been really deep in my faith with God. I've been very intentional. I pray every day. I go to church consistently, and I love how he talks about like. I feel like Drake doesn't consider what God would want, but Kendrick talks about that. Like, you know, that part where he's like, you know, you don't know nothing about that. God, you know, considering God, you don't know that. I'm like, yes, you don't know even about that. Like, I
don't know how you feel about this, but even like the hardcore, like dark, sinister bars where he says something like, "I'll slap you and put the Bible behind my back so God won't see it" or some shit. I'm like, oh my God, like that shit kills me. Like,
yeah, man, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you and I could talk about this forever. I'm gonna be honest. Even to Meet the Greyhounds, bro. This whole beef has got me back to Rap Genius. I've been like on Rap Genius,
are you kidding me, dude? Man, like you could ask I did thought rap was done. I was like, Old dropping the fall off, and that's it. Like, no more rap. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about who's coming up and stuff like that, but you know.
Yeah, man.
I'm very thankful for all this shit. You know?
No, me too, man. And I just hope maybe it doesn't have to be in the form of the beef, but just the energy. Because outside of this Kendrick and Drake, you know, now Future is engaged with. I like that album. We don't trust you, or you know what I'm saying. That was a fire. Weeknd is engaged. Metro Boomin is engaged. Like,
oh yeah, we didn't even talk about his this
BBL Drizzy.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
I thought that was really dope, and I thought he was going to make a like an actual rap track because you know he like posted the picture of him in the studio and stuff. But like to make a challenge out of dissing somebody is kind of insane. Like, there's a tweet of him like I can send it to you, but like somebody's like dissing him in like Japanese. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like there's like French diss tracks and shit. You like it's fucking crazy. Like
I was actually listening. You know, Masego put like a saxophone version.
Oh no!
I was like, what the hell?
What is that? That's
yeah. But I thought that was a pretty creative way of doing it. You know, and I just hope that hip hop continues to be disengaging, you know, maybe on a higher consciousness, but at least the creativity has been incredible. You know what I'm saying? I think even like you're hearing Drake rap better. Just Kendrick, this is the most tracks Kendrick has dropped in like freaking like 4. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? And the tracks have been immaculate, like, you know, and it's just, I just hope that energy transforms and inspires other rappers, you know, to even to be consistent.
Yeah, and I guess I'll say my last closing remarks on it. First of all, okay, I will say this because I'm going to be transparent. I was at Cole for a total of 10 hours when he apologized, and I had to realize I've forgiven Kanye for worse.
Yeah,
I always been sticking with Cole for real. Like Cole has always been like my goal personally. So I got the Cole hoodie on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
So I think the real winners of this rap beef, besides whoever, you know, was between Kendrick and Drake, is one, J. Cole.
Yep.
And 2, that Chinese restaurant in Toronto.
Oh, Hong Kong or something?
Those business out of like those shit has skyrocketed. So like I think those are the 2 winners.
And yeah, I love that you mentioned that. I know this, bro. I really feel that about the J. Cole thing. I'm gonna be honest. I never even liked the diss track, to be honest. When it came on, I deleted it. I didn't even like the diss track, to be honest. But I know, yeah. So when he came off with that apology, I'm not gonna lie, I felt validated because, I much respect to Cole, and I what I said wasn't popular opinion, but I actually had tremendous respect for him because, you know, he chose peace, and I think that's something that a lot more of us should value. I love peace, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think peace is happiness at rest. Happiness is peace in motion, and so I'm really big into peace. So when he chose that, much respect for him. You know what I'm saying? The only thing, and I get why everyone was shitting on him, was like, well, why did you drop that whole like project or the diss if you felt like that? And I think, dude, honestly, at the end of the day, I think he's human. Cole is human, bro. And I think he just fell to the pressure of the world. And it's hard not to, bro. Like, you know, you hear Kendrick drop a diss, doesn't even drop that often. You know, probably from his perspective, all his niggas are like, yo, did you hear that Cole? Yo, what are you gonna say, bro? Like, you gotta say something. And like, you know, he probably wants to be like, bro, it ain't that deep. Me and Kendrick are like, cool. But that's not the cool thing to say, you know. It's not the engaging thing to say, you know. So I think he just fell to the pressure of having to fall to like hip hop standards, you know.
100%. And I always say, like, at this point in hip hop, Kendrick is for the crash outs and the haters, like the proud crash outs and haters. Cole is for the diplomats and the peacemakers. And Drake is for the bad bitches and the caption makers. I don't know.
The caption maker. What's that song? Emotionless that he had. I hated that. But now you see why I had myself from I had my, like you were talking. You said, yeah. Even before Drake, even before Kendrick did, I'm like, bro, you're just manipulating everyone into making it a cool way to explain why he was hiding his kid. I'm like, it's not cool that you hid your kid at I'm not gonna keep on going with the Drake spiel, but like, yeah, like, anyways, so, you know, I want to transition. Who are your top 3 favorite artists? I think you mentioned Cole, right? Or just in general. It doesn't even have to be hip hop. Like, or is it hard?
It's definitely hard, man.
Yeah, I get it.
It changes very often, so I could like say a different answer like tomorrow. I will say Frank Ocean is always top tier. I love Frank. I love his pen. I think Frank Ocean is actually a better rapper than 80% of rappers out today.
Okay.
Swear to God, I feel like if Frank Ocean really wanted to, he could out-rap.
What was the Frank Ocean rap track? I haven't.
He raps a little bit here and there. Like he rapped on like Chanel a little bit. He rapped.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Like those.
Yeah. I wouldn't say like he is a rapper, but like if Frank Ocean like put his
seriously, I could do it.
Yeah. Damn. This 3 is crazy. I'll say Tyler. Like these are the artists that I listen to like the most. So,
okay.
Like, Frank, Tyler, and I guess you'll say like a tie between Kendrick and Cole.
Okay. So you must have been a huge fan of the OFWGTKA group, and because
yeah. I was late to it for sure. I was definitely okay because I was very much like a devout Christian, like young. So like I would hear like old Tyler, and I was like, hell no, you're going to hell for listening to this. Do not show me this music.
Nah. Those are some solid people. My top 2 are Kendrick and Cole. And then as for like the third is always switching, this Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, it's really switching. Lil Russell up there. I also love Afrobeats. Wizkid is definitely Lil Russell.
Oh, Lil Russell. I thought you said Russ. Okay.
Oh no, I used to not really enjoy his music. I do, as I've gotten older, I do have a deeper appreciation for it, but he's not in my top 10. But Lil Russell is there. I love Wizkid's music. I love Afrobeats. But those are kind of like some of my favorite artists too. But yeah, we seem like we have a similar taste in music. My next question for you, Ausar, is what's the best part about being Ausar, and what's the worst part about being Ausar?
Oof. Oh, so that's what that meant. Okay, I was like, what name is he gonna say? I was like, is he gonna say Kendrick? Like, I don't know Kendrick.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I should have just said, your name.
No, you're good. You're good. The best part about being Ausar. That's a good question. I guess I try to be very fluid in life. Like, so I don't necessarily like bog myself down on like one thing or another.
Okay.
So like I just like live. I consciously chose to live a creative life.
Okay.
So, like a lot of things that I do just have like creativity just like embedded in them.
Okay.
And I have a lot of fun because of that choice. The bad part about it is there's not necessarily like a great deal of structure, stability that I feel like is very much needed. And when you get to the point of being, it's great to be creative, but you want to make money off of this.
Sure.
Business. There needs to be like, how are you thinking about this? How are you thinking long term? It can't just be like, I want to write about SZA today, and now I want to write about Kendrick. Now I want to write about it can't be that, because while it's fulfilling creatively, there has to be some type of balance. So like, I think I don't want to say the worst part, but like a thing that I'm struggling with is just like finding that balance between creativity and like stability, structure. Think like an entrepreneur, honestly, I think with that.
Yeah. So trying to monetize your content, but in a way that doesn't feel like you're selling out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't want to be like, yeah.
No, I get it, bro. I think that's a very fair answer. My other question to you is, what has creating video essays on hip hop and music taught you about yourself?
Damn, a lot. I learned something about myself with every video. Like every artist, I would say this: if you really want to know the answer, just look at the conclusion of every video that I do, because the conclusions of the videos are genuine. They're real conclusions. They're not like I wrote it out and be like, we need to make the hook tie into the. It's like I write. This is how I'm feeling, and like the last thing I do, like after editing, after recording, is the conclusion. Like, this is what I got after researching, listening to the catalog, writing, editing, and this is how I feel 5 minutes before I upload. Like, this is what we can learn from it. So those are like, I would just say, like, those are real lessons that, like, it's not like bullshit. Like, it's like, this is what I got, and maybe you can get this too. So I don't know if that's a cop out or not, but like, that's like the last 5 minutes of each video is genuinely like from each video.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, and talking about that, man, like, you know, I keep praising your work. I think it's great. How long does it take you to do all this stuff? Because I remember I used to do this, you know, definitely not as long. I experimented with it for like 2 to 3 months, but you had to find the clips, make the background music, do the research and all that, you know. And then I heard you during the conversation said you have a 30-page essay. I don't even know if you're done with it. Like, you know, it sounds like you're putting a lot of work onto, like, how much work does it take, and how long does it take to do all these videos?
I don't want to say this like as an example of like what's a model off of. Like I'm like a little too detail orientated. And that's actually something I'm trying to cut down on, because I realized like nobody cares.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like nobody really gives a fuck that it came from. Like, who cares about the ink spots from the fucking 1947? Like, nobody like even. It's stuff like that, and like me like going into like, in the ink spots wrote this about this woman, and like it doesn't in the video. But like 2 to 3 months per video. And like so like I'm working on like 3 videos. I'm working on the Kendrick video, which is like overall Kendrick Drake beef type of thing.
Yeah.
SZA video and a Childish Gambino, and also a To Pimp a Butterfly video. So like all those videos are like, and they're all influencing each other, which is great, but they're all like staggered in a way. So like I'm writing the SZA video, which got rewritten because SZA was supposed to be about R&B as a whole, until I realized SZA doesn't give a fuck about R&B. Why am I talking about R&B as a whole when SZA is like she's like, anxiety is a big thing with SZA, and why am I shying away from that? Also, SZA is like a convicted like liar. Like, she's just been lying, like not about like crazy shit, but she just lies for like no reason. What, maybe anxiety and lying go together? Like, what's the connection between the two? Scrap the whole video, write it over. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck that I wrote 60 years about the history of R&B. Scrap it. It'll be for another video. We're gonna write about anxiety. We're gonna write about her lying. So like, I'm ranting, low-key, but just stuff like that, like, and how does that intertwine into Childish Gambino's entire career? How does that intertwine into like To Pimp a Butterfly? How does what I'm writing about right now with Euphoria to Pimp a Butterfly? How do they affect each other? And like, they kind of, damn, I really was yapping. Anyway, they stagger because like I'll be writing 1 or 2, but I'll be researching. Meaning, like, I'm listening to the catalog, watching interviews for other ones, and I might be editing another video at the same time. So it's like, I'm just like engaging with media while like.
I get it, bro. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a weird. You're in a very weird conundrum, because I see myself in you. Like, you like nuances, like, and that's why I like your content. You're very nuanced, and I love that too. Unfortunately, nuance isn't really popular. Like, you know, people don't care for nuance. It's not even just in hip hop; it's just in media. I love nuance, I love information, but people don't really care for that.
Right. And
there's this wise quote that I've heard that I think could help you, depending on what your intentions are. I don't know if you want to go, but it seems like you're trying to grow. But it struck with me. But I don't have the intention of growing. I think you do. But the quote was, be simple in public, but nuanced in private. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It really struck out to me. I'm like, I feel like if you're trying to like really do really well with this content creation, like, I think it's just better to be simple, and all the nuanced stuff, like, maybe save it for conversations with your friends, or like, you know, that's just my opinion.
No, dude, Oh, you're spot on. Like, this moment in hip hop has definitely taught me that, because like I said, I'm 30 pages into a Euphoria. That shit is old news at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody talked about Euphoria, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody, you know? But I'm like, you know?
And I was gonna
ask, like, the nuance and the detail is slowing me down, where people are like pumping out content like, this is what the people want. I'm like, damn, like, and you know, it makes you like, am I like infringing on my artistic integrity, or am I really just giving people what they want? You know?
No, and again, like everything, it comes with balance. I was gonna ask you, with like this whole beef and how fast social media is, do you feel like a pressure to create like now in the moment? Do you feel that pressure to be like, yo, oh shit, like Kendrick just dropped Not Like Us, I have to drop a bit? Like, do you ever feel that pressure to create a video because of stuff like that? Just, you know, because of how fast the beef is, you know?
100% yes. First of all, yes, I 100% feel like I should be, but also I am taking this moment as I'm just gonna take a bet, and I'm 100% open to just being wrong. I'm only at, like, when I think about long term, 40,000 subscribers isn't the grand scheme.
Yeah.
If I really think long term, this is a very small percentage of the total subscribers I have long term. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to take a bet on myself and say, maybe, throwing it out there, who knows? I don't know shit, really, but maybe people want to see the full story in detail. And I'm going to do it. And if I'm wrong, that was wrong.
Yeah.
Right, that's great. You know, people want to see it, and like, maybe there's a lane I can build for myself there. But I want to like just take chances. You know, I want to.
No, for sure. And I think one thing that you have working for you, I think you make evergreen hip hop content.
In my opinion,
I really do believe that, dude. I watched your Tyler the Creator video 2 days ago, and like Tyler the Creator hasn't dropped in like 2 years, bro. But like, I don't know, like it's been like a long time, like, but I was still engaged. The video did well, like, you know what I'm saying? I think you make evergreen hip hop content, so I do think that plays to your advantage, in my opinion.
That was definitely part of, because I was talking to my girl the other day, and I was like, I don't want to make content just for now. Like, I want to make content like that you can just watch this in a couple years and it'll be like, it's still relevant, which is like, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like to know like I know what I'm doing. You know,
yeah,
like,
you're just figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm just trying shit out. Like, maybe this works, but you know, like, I'm also just open to being like a fucking, you know, have an egg on my head and shit. You know.
Yeah. Bro, I think your openness is cool, man. I have a few more questions for you. One of my last questions is, if you had to pick one wise person who you would believe would be great for this podcast, who would it be and why?
There's this rapper, his name is Armando. He was on my J. Cole video. And if you want to talk hip hop history, like, that's the dude. Like, this man literally teaches hip hop history to like the youth and stuff like that. He's actually an actual rapper. And like, he's very talented, very well spoken, very he's just a great conversation. And I think you would definitely enjoy him. Like, he's your type.
All right, cool. I'm gonna
make his Instagram and stuff for sure.
Oh, please do. Yeah, I'm gonna make a note to like reach out to him. That sounds like an interesting guy. All right, man. And then my last question for you is, you know, how can people reach out to you or like learn more about you and what you do?
Don't, but my Instagram is just Ausar.png.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my Instagram.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and then you have a YouTube called Spacial.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Everyone watching this, definitely go check out his YouTube channel. It's incredible. If you're a fan of hip hop or just R&B music, and really good video essays, I highly recommend it. So yeah. Also, it was a pleasure speaking with you. I had a great time, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Stay in touch, my guy. Yeah.
Thanks so much.